Hey there, welcome to the Not Just Momma podcast, the show where we talk about building businesses, chasing dreams, raising little yous, and keeping it real through all the chaos. We're diving into mindset, motivation, and all things mompreneur life, all while microwaving our coffee for the 20 millionth time. I'm your host, Heather Madsen, a dream-chasing mompreneur who knows exactly what it's like to juggle big ambitions with a million daily tasks. Because let's be honest, we're not just moms. We're wives, we're partners, we're daughters, friends, creators, dreamers, and so much more. And just because we're raising little tiny humans doesn't mean we have to put our dreams on the back burner. We deserve to chase them, build something incredible, and make a difference, all while being amazing moms. So go ahead and nuke that coffee once again and get comfy, because we're diving in. Hey there. So today we are talking about something I feel every business owner experiences at one point, and it's kind of like a scary thing and maybe also a little bit embarrassing for us to talk about. And that's dealing with negative people in your business, whether it's people unsubscribing from you, getting those refund requests, rude comments, or just people who don't intertwine with your mission very well. And it can feel very disheartening, right? But here's the truth. Not everyone is meant to be in your circle. And I want to give you a little peace of mind and tell you that that's okay. So let's talk about how to handle it with grace and not take it personally and keep showing up anyway, right? So when I was selling my first online course, I had one person who was actually really nice to me in the beginning, and I would email her and check up on her and see how she's doing in the course, right? And she was so appreciative that I would message her and ask her all these questions, checking in, right? But a week or two maybe went by, right? And I had a 7-day return policy because I want to make sure people get in my course and they are happy with it. And if they're unhappy, then yeah, sure, get a refund. But it was way past that period. And so she messaged me saying that she wasn't able to get in the course and she couldn't sign in and she needed help. And so I would send her the password reset and I would respond to her every single time she emailed me. And I would get no response back, not a word. And then she would randomly email me again and get mad at me and demand a refund. Well, let me tell you, my blood boiled over this, and it made me really upset and made me feel like a failure because I had worked so hard on this and I had tried so hard every time to respond to her, but not getting a response back, which was very upsetting. And I'm like, why is she not responding? Is she not getting my emails and stuff? And when she would email me again with rage, I would send her a screenshot of the email that I sent back to her and be like, this is exactly what I said to you. I did respond. I'm sorry if you didn't get it for some reason. And then I would even email her from ConvertKit. And this is where kind of the truth came out, is when I did that, when I emailed her off of ConvertKit, which is now called Kit, I would send out a broadcast and make it just to her. And then I could see her opening the email. And she would tell me that I never got an email from you. And I'm like, okay, I don't know how to deal with this person. But then she started threatening me and saying, if you don't give me a refund, I will do this, this, and this. And I'm just like, what do I do in this situation, right? I was so stressed about it. I couldn't sleep. My heart would thump every time I thought about it. It was just kind of breaking my heart a little bit because I had worked so hard on this. And I'm trying to please this person who's being very rude to me. But in the end, I'm just is this worth my time? Is this worth the heartache? Does the money that I made from this course selling this to that person, does that matter at this point? Because all it was giving me was the heartache that I was getting depressed over it. And I wasn't eating because I was just so stressed over it. And when I'm stressed, I don't eat at all. So I'm just like trying to weigh my options here. Like, is it worth it to fight this with her because she's past the 7-day return policy? And like try to convince her to open up the email where I sent her like the password reset, or just give her her money back and be free from this person. Well, I decided to give her money back, okay? And I never heard from her again. And here's the big lesson that I learned out of all of that heartache, okay? Not everyone is meant for you, okay? I learned that everyone is not meant to stick around, and maybe they'll be in your world for a little bit, but not forever. And that doesn't mean you're doing it wrong. You could be doing everything I did to the point where, like, you were trying to email from the Kit platform to see if she was actually, like, opening up the emails. You could be checking up on your client like I did, emailing them back, trying to please them, trying to make things right, and nothing will be right, okay? And I just want you to know there are people like that out there who will just do and say everything in their power to take advantage of you. And it's just going to happen in business, okay? And that was my first experience that I remember. So here's something I want you to know and keep in mind when things like that happen, okay, is that the people who leave your circle aren't a loss, okay? You have to think of it that way. They're just making space for the right ones to find you. That's powerful, right? So today, I want to make several things very clear to you. So the first thing is that unsubscribes are not a personal attack, okay? Every single business owner gets unsubscribes. I mean, even the most loved creators get unsubscribes daily, okay? Somebody that you look up to on the internet, just think of them. They get them. If they tell you they're not, they are lying. And you've got to think of it this way, okay? Unsubscribes are just kind of a sign that you're getting more aligned with who you want to serve in your business and who you don't want to serve. And basically, an unsubscribe is someone just saying, this isn't for me, not you're not good enough, okay? And I mean, if they really thought that you weren't good enough for them, maybe you would get a really mean email or something. But usually people just unsubscribe peacefully. They just think in their head, like, okay, this isn't what I thought, or maybe this isn't what I want, so I no longer need your emails. So that's okay. And we do that too, right? When we don't find an email or a company that resonates with us any longer, then we eventually unsubscribe. It's not like we were going to be in their world forever, but maybe there was a time where we needed them. And now that we are done with their services, we just don't want to hear from them anymore. And that's okay. That's our choice, all right? And that's what you got to think about when people unsubscribe from you. Don't take it to heart. Just tell yourself, like, okay, maybe they're on the next phase of life, and that is okay. There are more people in the world for me. It's almost like people walking past a booth at like a farmer's market or something. Some stop, some don't. And that doesn't mean that your booth sucks. It just wasn't what they were looking for. And that's exactly how we should think of the unsubscribes, okay? It's not a big deal. They moved on. All right, the second point I want to bring up is that refund requests happen and they don't define your success. Yes, it feels very disheartening and it sucks to get one of those requests, especially when you poured your heart into something that you truly believe in, just like my story that I told you. But let's zoom out for a second, okay? The occasional refund isn't a sign you failed. It's just a part of doing business, okay? Even like at a store, I don't know if you guys have an Albertsons or a Fred Meyer. Albertsons is like Safeway here to us, but we return things when they don't work out for us. And that's okay. We're allowed to, right? And that's the same for people who buy your online course or any products that you sell online, okay? It's just a part of doing business. So one of the things that really help keep down refund requests is just keeping your policies very clear and firm, but being professional and very kind about it at the same time. Make sure you have a refund period if you have one and clearly state it so that they can see it and stay firm to it. And like in my personal story that I told you about earlier, I ended up giving this lady her refund that she requested because it was feeling more heavy and disheartening than it was feeling light and airy. Okay. I want things to flow good and I want to feel good about my business. So when things get that way, when they're starting to feel heavy and, you know, the person that is requesting the refund is becoming extremely difficult, there are times where you have to give in and you have to make your best judgment. But having a clear policy will help minimize those refund requests, okay? And one of the best things that you can do to respond to people who are rude about their refund requests is just to kill them with kindness, okay? Often how you handle a refund says more about your brand than the refund itself, okay? And then they can't say anything bad about you. And in most cases, when you are getting a refund request, just in general, it doesn't mean your offer wasn't valuable, okay? It really just means that it wasn't the right fit for them, that person at that time. And it's not a reflection of your worth. It's a reflection of their personal needs, okay? All right. And the third point I want to bring up is that there are 3 types of negative people out there, and this is how you should handle them, okay? So the first type of negative person that we might come across in our business is the critic, okay? This is the person who leaves harsh comments and feedback and critiques you and picks you apart sort of thing, especially on social media. But here's what you got to ask yourself, okay? Is there a shed of truth to what they're saying? Or is it just noise? I mean, maybe they are saying these things out of spite to hurt you, or maybe they're jealous. You don't know. Okay. But ask yourself, is any of it true? And if it's not, then just let it go. That's how you handle people like that. You gotta block them out. And like I said, kill them with kindness. Okay. The second type of negative person we face in business is the ghost. This person will unsubscribe, they will leave your Facebook group, or just unfollow you in general. And I want you to know that it's okay. This is going to happen as well. And here's what you do. Don't chase them, okay? Bless them and release them, because there are more people for you out there that will love you and trust you for who you truly are. And the people who just choose not to follow you anymore, they're not actually meant for you, and that's okay. All right. And then the third type of negative person that we come across in business is the refund demander, which is the kind of person who was in my story. Okay. And I'm feeling really lighthearted about that story now, because I'm just like, I am very settled in and I accept what happened. And honestly, like, I made room for people who actually cared for what I taught. Okay. But the refund demander often blames you and they make it feel personal. And it kind of makes you feel like you want to crawl in a black hole, right? But here's the thing. Stick to your policy, respond with clarity and kindness, and move on. And make judgments where you feel needed, okay? If you were in a situation like me, weigh it. Is it worth fighting, or should I just let this one go and make more time, more space for people who actually will give me that time of day? Your job really isn't to convince everyone to be in your world. It's to just lead the ones who are meant to follow you, okay? All right. And the last point I want to make in all of this is to protect your energy and keep showing up anyway. You do not need to be liked by everyone to be successful. We want to make sure as entrepreneurs to only have people in our world that are meant to be in our world, okay? We don't need people in our world that aren't aligned with our business, our mission, our values, okay? And truly, the right people will feel your heart and they will stick around. So when we start to get these negative people in our lives, what we really need to do is to recenter on our mission, our message, and our why. Why are we doing this in the first place? And we can journal about it and affirm to ourselves every single day or every time this happens, I'm not for everyone, and I don't need to be. I mean, it's seriously like gardening a bit, right? And I like to use the plant analogy with everything. Some seeds won't take root no matter how well you care for them. So focus on the ones that do grow, okay? So if this episode gave you some peace or perspective with the fact that there are going to be people coming and going within your business and that there will be some who will enter and leave your world, I'd love for you to share it with somebody who also needs to hear it. Also, you can email me your thoughts at support@course-roots.com. Also, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and subscribe to my email list so that you don't miss out on any upcoming updates in the future. All right, well, I hope this gave you a whole new perspective on things such as negative comments, refund requests, or just people leaving your world with no word about it, okay? And it happens. And we just got to tell ourselves that we're not for everyone. And that's okay. All right, we'll see you guys next time.